Hi everyone, welcome to Alicia Dianne Art. I am Alicia Dianne, of course, and today we're going to be doing Storyboard Mastery, which is going to be awesome because this is our first time doing Storyboard on here, and I am really excited. The software we're going to be using today is going to be Photoshop. Really, you can do Storyboard on anything. You can do it in your Sketchpad, you can do it in Notebook, you can make thumbnails on just plain printer paper if you want. The industry standard right now is Storyboard Pro, but I'm not going to be using Storyboard Pro today. We'll probably use it in later episodes, but for now we're going to be using Photoshop, and if you use a similar program, you'll be able to do the same. So hopefully this makes it more accessible to you if you're not having other types of the professional quote unquote software. But I'm saying you can use it on anything, so don't feel intimidated or like you have to do it digitally, because you absolutely do not. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with this script that I wrote, and it is a really basic. I didn't even it's actually no dialogue. It's just a simple script. It's like a page and a half of just action. It's storytelling, it's animals, and there's no dialogue. So it's all visual storytelling. So this is something that I wanted to work on. I have actually been working on making several scripts, just short, quick scripts to get started and to practice those storytelling skills and to practice those storyboard and animatic skills. And this is the first step, well, actually the second step after actually writing it. And so the name of my story is Cape Dilemma, and it's actually about penguins on the southern tip of South Africa. So it's actually inspired by a story that I saw on Watching Wildlife program. I was watching this program and they were talking about these penguins. They're penguins in Africa, yeah, but there are penguins that live in the Cape on the southern tip of South Africa, and they live off the ocean there. And they were telling the story of how of course the fathers rear the eggs just like every other penguin species, but these penguins get really hot because they are still in Africa. And so some of the fathers desert the eggs and things like that. And this is a real thing that happens, and a lot of the eggs never happen and never hatch. They go certain seasons where it's supposed to be hatching season and there's no eggs that hatch because everyone has deserted their eggs because it's gotten so hot. But anyway, this story is inspired by that. It's not such a morbid story as the one I saw on TV, but it kind of humanized them, and I gave it a little bit of a spirit. So hopefully that shows through, and I'm gonna be working with you guys. And let's see, background, a little bit of background noise for us. I don't have Moana anymore. Oh well. And I'm not going to be watching it anyway. But I do want to start with this little cool thing that I got not very long ago. And the link is in the description. And so let's go ahead and switch. I'm going to show you what that is right now. Screen share. And I'm going to show you my... Okay, so the link is in the description. And I got this from actually one of my animation professors. And it's 10 tips for creating storyboards from DreamWorks. So the author of this is Caleb Ward, and this was published in 2014. But I'm just gonna, if you want to go through on your own time and actually read everything, that's totally suggested. But right now I'm just gonna quickly go through all of the little steps that they give us for guidance. And so the first step is to avoid the flat staging. So you don't want to have just a flat TV screen sort of a thing, just where it's really just blah blah blah, characters just flat out there. And the second one is right here, to lay down grids to help you establish your ground for your character compositions. So as you can see, there's even a little bit of perspective here with these grids. It's not perfect, obviously, it's not done with a ruler, but the squares in the foreground are a little bit larger than the ones in the background. It sort of just gives you like a plane for your characters to stand on, even though it's not 3D. You're sort of making your own sort of a sense of 3D or sort of a feel of 3D. And let's see, your foreground, use foreground, midground, background, and far background to tell your depth. So as you can see, they still have the grid for the floor here, the plane here, and you have your foreground, your very foreground, and your far background, and even your middle ground. So that's the third step. The fourth one here is to, when dealing with multiple characters, try to logically group them to make cutting back and forth easier. Okay. I'm sorry, I read that weird. But anyway, when you're dealing with multiple characters, try to logically group them to make cutting back and forth easier. Okay, so you have your character A here, and you have B, C, D over there. So if they're talking back and forth, let's say B and C are talking to A, and D is just kind of hanging out and watching, and you have them. Can I explain this properly? Let me see. You have them facing opposed to each other, so it's not awkward when when you're cutting from one character to the other. You just want it to be obvious that they're talking to each other. I think is really much what they're trying to say, or interacting. So even if they're not using words, but if they're interacting with each other, you kind of want to have them facing opposing each other. That way you can cut from one to the other, and it looks like it makes sense. Like this. So he's cutting from this one, and you're cutting to these guys. So you see the cut makes sense. All right, and number 5, be wary of composition in which everything is parallel. Okay, so you don't want everything flat. This is kind of like one of the things I'm working on. Is I tend to tell stories like a storybook, like everything is kind of out on the page, everything's on stage, you can see everything, but this is animation, or this is comics, you will still be making the same sort of thumbnails for comics, and you just want to make it more exciting. And number 6 is careful how you frame characters. Don't squeeze them to fit a shot. So like you can see this one, his head is cut off. We want to avoid cutting off characters' heads. We want to give them a nice spacious atmosphere. And number 7, over the shoulder shots. This is an over the shoulder shot. So as you can see, the second character here, the lion character, you can just see the back of her head, and we're looking as if we're standing behind. We're looking at the male lion as if we're standing behind the female lion's shoulder. So we're standing over her shoulder. That's why they call it an over shoulder shot. And number 8 is character squared off and looking at our left. I'm sorry, I read that color. Character squared off and looking at our left or right ear. And looking at our left or right ear. Oh, I get it. So you want to frame it as in it's not like directly in the center, but they're off to the side. So it's kind of like using the rule of thirds. If you ever have used the rule of thirds, you're dividing your camera or your screen into thirds. So 1, 2, 3. So if I added 2 lines somewhere in the center, there'd be 3 squares, and you would do the same thing going diagonally, and that would divide it into 3, 6, 9 area, and that would be your rule of thirds. So you want to keep things either one side or the other to make it more pleasing to the eye. So hopefully that one helps. I think there's a few more here. Number 9 is to exploit different character heights. So, I mean, this one is using Madagascar, from Madagascar, for example. So you have this one character that's a giraffe. It's always, if you've ever done any sort of character design or worked with character design before, you'll notice that the characters are typically not all the same shape and size. You might have like one group of characters that are all the same shape and size, like as in the minions, but the big villain, I don't remember what his name is, sorry, Groot, I think, something like that, he is shaped nothing like the minions. So you want to have characters that vary. That makes it more exciting to look at, so everybody's not, the same size and shape. And for this one, if you have a one character that's particularly tall, you might want to use that. So that's what they're saying here. You might want to use the fact that you have this one tall character and give like this exciting camera shot that you might not get necessarily from any of the other characters. Number 10 is to motivate your cuts. I don't know what they mean by that. Let's see. All right, so maybe you just have like maybe oh, okay. So I think it's that what is the word that we use in animation? It's the yeah, got it. Word is like right there. It's when you're preparing your bot to do something and then you do it. I don't remember what the word is called, but there's a word that we use in animation for that. And it's like when you're about to reach for something and then you lean back first and then you reach for it. It's that one little gesture that adds to it. So like you're not just going from like him looking down at his paper and then all of a sudden seeing this giant bull here, about to attack him or whatever. But you have like this noise in the background and you're like, huh? Like you're adding like that extra detail. I think that's what they mean. Like I said, you can go through this whole thing on your own time, but I just wanted to briefly go through it, especially since it's our first time, and I don't know if obviously everyone who might see this might not have ever done storyboards before. So I wanted to just give a little bit of an insight, and this is a link that will be helpful for you. It was definitely helpful for me, and I'm going to cut to our Photoshop window, and let me see if I get that ready for us. Just a moment. Okay, so let's go to Photoshop. And I'm going to pull this up bigger. And I actually want to bring in, the funny thing is I haven't designed the characters or anything yet, but I do want to I'm not going to do formal character design because that's not what this video is about. I kind of want to keep it simple. But I will bring a real loose version. So I'm going to pull in an image real quick. Just to get an idea of what they look like. And I'm going to pull in some images. And these are what the guys look like. Maybe just a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of reference. And I'm not going to keep this visible the whole time, but I just want to momentarily. Okay, and let me see. I'm going to get that cape. Let's see what that looks like. Wow. I know I should show you guys, right, what it looks like. Wow, okay. But this is like the ocean side. That looks nice. And let's see. Ocean, let me see. Ocean. Cape of South Africa. Alright. Oh, this is a cool little beach. So anyway, these are just some little reference images that I'm going to use just to kind of inspire me. I may even use some more. I'm using Photoshop, just to reiterate that part. Like I said, I might even anyway. Alright, so I'm just going to really rough through a couple of characters. We use a little bit of our time just to rough out. And so I'm going to put this as images. And I'm going to move them over, I think, just like that. So I have my main character, which is a penguin. Let's see. I want to make him look like. Okay. guy. I'm just going to do a little bit of a rough and see if I can kind of pull out a bit of a character here. Oh, I did that in the wrong way. Let's see. Put that here. And get some more. Let's see. I'm going to go through a little bit. I'm going to do like I'm going to give him like big eyes. This kind of square looking body a little bit. I know this is called storyboard mastery, but you can't really storyboard a character if you don't know what the character looks like. So this is all part of the, just as much as the writing part is, they all of the elements of your story are going to work together. So don't like skip out on any portions. Obviously, I'll go through on my own time and really flesh out the characters more. And when I do a second run, probably cleanup, I'll probably, adjust some of the characters and things like that. But just to get started, I really want to just kind of get at least a feel of what I want my little guys to look like. Maybe, let's see. I wonder if this will be easier to use. Short. Feel them out a little bit. And if I was to go ahead and just go right into the storyboard, I would want to keep a model sheet or something of my main character. Many times when the storyboard is made in a professional setting, they're just working with a rough idea of what the character might look like. And a lot of time the characters are remodeled even before, the animation aspect of it begins. So I'm getting a little bit of ideas now. I don't want it to look overly realistic. I just want to give like a taste of what that is. Maybe something like this. Can kind of like this guy. Understand my characters a little bit. He doesn't have an official name in my little script here. He's just male penguin number 1. So it's not official or anything, but just because it's not official, even if your characters are not necessarily saying anything, they need a name, you can still make them feel real, like a real right. Keep it maybe a little bit like this, just for the purpose of starting. Maybe I'm going to give him another angle, so as it looks like that angle, then maybe have a little bit of another angle. TV's not too loud in the background. I'm sure this helps a little bit. Charming a little bit. You know, give a little bit of a. This is his first time. He's a first time dad. He doesn't really know what he's gotten himself into, but trying. Alright, so I'm going to keep this sort of as a reference. It's really, really basic and really simple, but I'm going to keep this as sort of like a little head start, just to get us going, get us started and moving. Alright, so I'm going to take that out for now. I'm going to see. Alright, so I'm just going to keep those there just to kind of keep me into. Alright, so I have my first shot is this white shot of planet Earth. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to, let's see, back to my other pencil. And now I'm actually going to start with storyboarding. So let's see. I have this white shot of planet Earth. With the black. Should I go home? I have a circle here. I can remember what Earth looks like. That would be nice. So I'm going to do a simplified version, obviously, but I still want it to look slightly recognizable as Earth. Earth. Just picture this narrated by David Attenborough. Our planet. Alright, so I'm going to go into the one. And of course, if I wanted to, because I'm using Photoshop instead of Storyboard Pro, it doesn't necessarily have like, you know, I could do this in Animate also, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Anyway, I could just leave my first layer on, And if I want to, I can just adjust my opacity, you know, let's see. I could just adjust my opacity if I want if I need to repeat any of my images or anything like that. Like I said, there's many different software programs that you can use for storyboarding, but I just, for the purpose of us learning here, I just want to keep it kind of simple, at least for today anyway. Okay, so we have the planet Earth, and then we have a panning. So we're panning this planet, this image. Okay. I'm just going to copy and paste. Well, select it, and we'll paste it. I'm going to take that off. And then I'm going to add a little square here. I'm going to add some arrows. That indicates that we're going to zoom in, truck in very quickly. And so I'm going to truck in. And I'm going to do the next image, which is going to be this beach. So I'm going to beach. I'm going to try and use the beach of the beach. Kind of a wide shot of this creature. Moves like this. Angles. Off the best of my ability, some of these cliffs here. This vast oceans. This. Going on, maybe like some clouds or something, just to let you know that this is the beach. And this would be what we would consider thumbnails, you guys. Like your first images that you're going to use will be your thumbnails. You could do them big or you could do them small. It might be good for me to scale it down. I still want you to see what I'm doing. So, but when I would go ahead and redo these, I would go ahead and clean them up. But right now, you just want to get your ideas on the page. It doesn't need to be formal or fancy. You want to get your ideas on the page. Okay, so on the next image, after we're panning in I want to get like, actually have like, these are like, give some kind of indicator that there's penguins on the beach. So maybe if I'm doing just little small little dots. And that first image that I would have, like, this would be, even these would be considered establishing shots. So like this is letting your audience know where you are. And so right here, maybe I'll write like, keep or maybe that would come up on the screen. Anyway, so the next one, I have these penguins. There's a bunch of penguins, and they're sweating bullets. So let's see. I want to do like, take this out. I keep this, but I want to, maybe I'll just change opacity on this one a little bit. I want to have one penguin just kind of like really in front. Just like miserable. Just like, totally. You've totally got it. Just dying in the heat. Some movies just on here, and he just really is not enjoying this weather. Sweating a lot, sweating profusely. Feathers going up this way. He's really hot. Maybe when I put like, if I was supposed to go into animation, it will probably be like I'm turning red. I don't know if you ever guys seen that animation. It's from the old days. It's from like the 50s, and they have like anyway, they have this guy, and he's just this penguin. What is his name? He's really popular with Cartoon Penguin. It's an old Disney like film, but anyway, they have him. He wants to move from this icy home with all of his penguin friends to the tropics, and he tries all these different things to move, and he has a bit of a hard time. When he actually finally gets to the tropics, he's sweating, and his white belly turns tan, and it's really kind of funny. All right, so anyway, sweating, but I'm gonna look like that's kind of an egg. Even though they don't necessarily lay on their egg, I still want to be like, where's my plane? Where's my background? Do that. And help me to flesh out where the rest of my penguins are. Figure out where the background is going. And maybe the ocean is this way. Of course, you can change things as you wish later, but let you get something going. So we can type around us in the background. But these guys are on the beach and they are hot. And I want it to be really like cooped in here too. I want it to be pretty close to each other. This guy is really hot. He's got his egg. He's sprawled out on the beach, just having a hard time with it. It's hot weather. Oh, I need to make this pen is kind of annoying though. I'm gonna use a small one, I think. Let's see. Birds or whatever other bird pun you want to use. Visible. Wipe his brow. That's great. So, I keep moving. I have the panting. I'll probably do a couple of different angles actually. You want to make your storyboards funny. I know that like they are pretty strict. I mean, I've never worked in a studio, but fortunately, I've had enough people tell me like what it's like, and the things that producers complain about, and like if it's not funny, they give it to somebody else to do it. It's no joke. It's like, all right, if you're not funny, then you're gonna lose the job, pretty much. So if you listen to enough of professionals, you start to hear the things that have to be pretty proficient at. 20 years. Right. And let's see. I gave him some more angles. Yeah, I like this pen a little bit better. No, it's not gonna be perfect. I still want to get it to be like knock out my little thumbnails. I need a lot more birds. Just I want to keep this guy clear and in the view, but I still want to have a lot of other birds just complaining. Maybe he's like, maybe he's like gritting his teeth or something. Just, you know. How do you make it look like somebody's hot? Maybe we should. I mean, that's gonna be a good idea. All right, let's see. All right, fatigue. Let me Google. What does that look like? What does fatigue look like? Heat. I don't know if heat fatigue is a thing, but it might be a good thing to look up. Don't be afraid to Google, and don't be afraid to get references. Don't be afraid to like, oh, to like, you know, find those resources that you need because they are available. That's why God made Google. That's why we have it, you know, so that we can look up stuff. And I'm going to look up some stuff. I mean, I can kind of picture it in my head, but I know like it'd be even better if I find some references. That way we can go ahead and really get into it. And I'm going to share my window here. And look at this. Like, this is just like a cartoon, but like, that's funny. Look at this. It's pretty good. Okay, so let me find another one. What did I even type in? That's pretty good too. Just the burnout, you know. Uh, eat mucho calor. No, that's not. That's just like hot. That's what people, but people do so. Just like sprawl out and stuff like that. I bet I can find even better ones. Maybe I need to heat exhaustion. See, oh, heat, Eve, maybe. I don't want to find actual like victims or like heat, but like let me see. Heat, heat cartoon. People are melting. But it's kind of funny, you know. Um, Getting other ideas from other artists is what we do. That's that's kind of a funny analogy. It's like the heat wave is actual like wave of fire coming at you. Yeah, that's kind of funny. So just thinking of ideas, you know, especially time. Might want to Google a couple of things and just get some like this. This is a good one. Just laid out. Like look at the physical characteristics of whatever it is that you're googling. You know, for the posture, like their legs spread out, they're tanned up. You know, they're like I said, like it was Disney. That's the other one too with the penguins. But you know, their white feathers are now pink. You know, so just little details. Their legs are spread out, their tongues out of the mouth, stuff like that. So let's go back in and keep moving. I want to show my characters in as much of the heat discomfort as possible. I'm not even introducing my main character yet. That's another like choices you want to make. Like when do you introduce your main character? If you're writing your own story, you know, I want to show first. I could have shown my main character out here sweating first, but first I want to show some of the other guys just like. It's just hot. Tired, burnt, sweating profusely. And maybe he's like he should be. All right. I want to watch out for tangents. I don't want his body to interrupt with his headphones over here, this plumage. Also, other penguins just kind of laid out in the sun with their eggs. This, maybe the sun is just intense. Or maybe it should be coming from another angle. I don't know. Maybe the sun is like more intense. Just kind of sweating. We have 4 penguins. Remember, this one is my reference. So, okay, I'm gonna do some more. They're just kind of like keeping volumes over here. They're just, they're all tired. They're trying to get it together. They all have their egg, trying to keep it warm. Like they really need to keep it warm in this heat, you know? Already, how hot? I don't know, but they're all kind of hot anyway. Guys, help me! Ugh. I'm just kind of burnt out and sweating. Draw a couple more. Draw a little bit smaller here. The eye expression of Pete is usually just kind of hot, just kind of sad. It's never really like not like happy or angry. It's just like sad and kind of hunched over. I feel like maybe hunched a little bit. This guy could be. So think about that. Think about the body postures that your characters are gonna have, and you know how to make it funny if you can. That's even better. But I'm doing these guys over here. Eggs. You know, they're not having a good time. And that's kind of what I want to get across in this shot. They're just not really having a good time right now. What else? A couple more guys. Like I need to set the stage right now. You know, it might take a little bit of time. Letting us know. This person's over a bit. Letting us know that this is not an easy thing to do. And this is important for my story actually. You know, I want the audience to know that this is not easy. And for the parents to actually abandon their eggs, you know, because of the heat, they just can't bear it. It's really important to my story that people know right off the bat that this is not the ideal environment for these guys. At least not at the moment. They're not enjoying it. I want it to be kind of crowded. I don't want anybody to block each other in a way that you won't be able to see the characters. I want it to be pretty clear. Some of them applying sunblock, obviously lurching enough sunblock, but just something to drag the point. So maybe in another frame I'll do it like that, which is just like, you know, going to extreme measures to try and keep cool. It's really sort of important for my story today. Maybe he's just trying to get his hands folded a little bit, trying to keep cool. More penguins. I just want people to know that there's a lot of these guys out here. So even if I have to draw some just like further out in the background, that's okay with me. I just want you to know that it is a crowded beach. Is that even enough? Let me see. I'm trying to look at some references for Cape Town, and I don't see a whole lot of trees on the beach. So I was wondering if I needed to draw trees, but it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of trees. So I will leave the trees alone. Some, but not many. Back. Get this up a little bit. A couple of guys back here, they're having a hard time too. And they're just trying to survive in this hard meat exhaustion. So there's two things that I want my audience to know with this frame is that my characters, where they are, that they're miserable. It's very hot, and they're all dads here. They're all penguin dads, and they're all trying to care for their eggs. So you want to have a nice image, but you also got to figure out what it is you're trying to say, what it is you want the audience to get from this image. So anyway, move in. I think we're good with this frame for now. We can move on a little bit, and we can go ahead and go on to the next image. And let's see. So maybe I have like some penguins, like applying sunblock. One guy just I don't know, but I just think it sounds kind of funny. He's kind of desperate and hopeless. This is still not my main character. Just trying to get some ideas going. So maybe he just has like his sunblock too, because I know what it's like. You're out there trying to keep cool and it feels impossible. So this is his little flipper. He's holding the sunblock too. SPF 200 because this is kind of funny. All right. So, just like I'm trying, really trying my best out here with these fools, but not easy. Being a penguin in Africa. I'm going to keep this one simple, but I'm going to continue this frame into the next one. You'll see why in a minute. And as you see, I'm trying to use the rule of thirds. So like the rule of thirds would be if I was to, and I'll just do this for a moment and I'll undo it, but I would probably use my ruler to do this. Not that much. So, be somewhere around here, and I gotta keep my character. But if you see like this rule of thirds, it's trying to keep that image in the frame where it's in a position where it is pleasing, and so the eyes are right around this. These are like your little golden spots in when you're using rule of thirds. So his face is right around that area, and that's what I want to do with pretty much all of these frames, just to make sure that my character's in a pleasing spot. And I'm gonna duplicate this. Let me see. Let's see. I didn't paste in the same spot. And paste in place is what I want. I'm gonna get hungry. It's almost lunchtime, is it? And so maybe in the second one, I just want to make the sunblock come into his hand. So arrow, so you know from one frame to the next. First he's squirting it, and then it's coming out. All right, so next he might. I'll do it again. Let's see. Another one. And paste in place. And for this one, I want to delete some of these. Delete this. But I still want to see what's happening, so I'm going to put up my last layer and keep it up just enough for you to see it. I'm going to deselect. And let's see. Give him a blank moment. Grasp this little flipper. Toss that bottle. It's just flying back there. He's not concerned with it anymore. Whatever that SPF bottle is, he's done with it. Now I just want to take it. should be good. And with this layer, this new layer, and I'm going to open his eyes again. Try and put them back where they were. Where they were. And he's going to dance together a little bit. Using that anymore. This is not in my script. Sort of your job as a storyboard artist is to add to the script, not making it longer because that makes it more expensive. But if you see opportunity for a gag, throw it in there. If the director or the producer doesn't want it, they'll take it out. But if they do want it, that's a plus for you. You can add gags to your script. Plus, just don't like make the story longer than the budget fits for. So if it's a 1 minute, if it's supposed to be 1 minute, still better be 1 minute, but just incorporate a little bit too. So I wanted to just kind of squats out of his hand a little bit. Goes away. He still has that in his hand. 1, 2, 3. And then I just want to just splash himself in the face, just like with no care given at all. All right, so I'm gonna take this out. And then shift key, and I'm gonna place it right back on. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and just let him squash it into his own face. Remove that. Open his mouth. So I'm gonna redraw his mouth. Just kind of that last layer, but make it much more transparent so I can see which one is what. Go to my little layer, and I'm just going to let him just no cares given at all. He's just like, I'm just doing this. He's all right. Let's see how this works. He's just like his eyes are closed now. They better be, or else he's not gonna enjoy getting it in his eye. Speak a little bit smaller, I think. you have any questions about what I'm doing or like where we're at or what we've done so far, please go ahead and ask me. Ooh, let's wash some sunblock. And maybe I'll make him just stretch his face. Just do like one more thing. So he's right, so far we have got the sunblock, he squirts it out, tosses it, fishes in his hand, he scratches his face. Alright. I kinda wanna think I wanna leave his face, his mouth the same. I think it'll be a little bit funnier. So let me see. If he just has like no expression change, he's just like I think that might be just like alright, I'm doing this. Alright. Kind of funny, I think, if he just has zero expression. Feel exactly the same. This time, his hand is over it. And it's just alright. And I want to do one more frame of this. Do the same thing. I'm going to take a piece down the bottom one a bit. Back to my layer and let's see. You want to delete, probably will delete all of it actually, or essentially all of it. So I can pull his head back, give him alright. I'm going to take that angle right on the beat. My birds are just coming down the way down here. How can I make it look like his face is just kind of that's what kind of look like his face is coming down with it, with the sunblock. It's like, eyes are open, but like, All right, so this is a little bit more like it. It's just kind of pulling his face down with some solution. Just, all right, this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do. I wanna open his mouth slightly. He looks so sad and pathetic. But that's how he's supposed to look. Let me save this. I haven't saved yet, which is not good. So let me save. Let's see. Go to my books. I know it takes a long time. Storyboards do take a long time, but um, they don't have to be painful. They can be actually a lot of fun. So hopefully I can show you some of what is it? The sort of, I guess, I don't know, just like the little tricks that you can get along the way. The ways to make it interesting and fun and all that stuff. So, all right, so let's say we have so far. We have planet Earth. Planet Earth. And zoom in. I feel like I should just too much. So we have planet Earth. And then we're gonna zoom in real quick. Okay? Planet Earth, zoom in. And we're going all the way down to the Cape of South Africa. And then we have all of these penguins. You see, it's starting to look a little bit more clear. Again. Cape of South Africa, all these penguins are hot and sweaty. And then this guy, do something because he's just so hot. Can't stand the heat. So that's our gag so far. It seems simple, but like you see, these things take time, obviously. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, good. And we're gonna have a couple of other guys, and they're doing their own stuff. Now I'm gonna actually, maybe I'll do a pan, just hot, sweaty penguins. Yeah, I think I'll do a pan. And sweaty, all that stuff. Maybe they're like fanning themselves. I'll do like some penguins. One, maybe big chubby penguins. I should do like, I've been trying to practice like doing different angles, so maybe I should try this one with some other angles. I will do, you know what, I'll do it so that it's a little bit more aerial. Not the mermaid, but like have an aerial shot. The way to do it, folks, it helps so much to just create a little bit of platform so you can tell where everything's coming from. And so maybe like I have like these guys over here. When, hmm, they're feeling some type of way about the weather. He feels hopeless. Maybe he has like maybe he has like a fan. Chinese fan sort of thing. And this will be my last shot before we go into my main character and actually get into the gut of my storytelling. But all of this is part of the storytelling aspect, you know. So just one by one, I'm just making these guys up as I go. You absolutely can, if you want to, go ahead and create your background characters, whichever you're, if you're writing your own stories and you're doing that on your own, you might want to, you know, create your own background characters before you start storyboarding. Or your main characters. It would be a great idea. Don't do what I did, kids. Create your characters before you storyboard. But like I said, like characters change in production. Like they don't happen all the time. You'll have one character, and then if you see some of those like making of films, you know, you'll see that the character that they did in storyboard looks nothing like, you know, the one that you saw on screen. That does have an angle a little bit messed up. I think his feet wouldn't be sticking out so far. Yes. Alter a little bit. We got other guys, and one is scrolling out. Excuse me. And do that again, but this is a different angle now than I had the first time around. So maybe the variety might make it more exciting to look at. It does take a long time to draw everything out. So here's this guy, and let's see, we need to do some more penguins. One is maybe, what do people do to stay cool? What size penguins will set for something different. I'll just make different sizes and shapes. Just to kind of make sure that I have a variety of different types of characters. Like I was saying in the introduction, I want to vary so that everybody does the same. Over here, just want to make my little landscape look kind of interesting. This guy's tall and skinny. Wide, maybe. I want to make my bit of a character just pan to look interesting. looks too much like the guy. Maybe one is top heavy. Everybody likes some feet. Just continue out till you can't see these guys anymore. One's laying down this way. Someone's laying down on their side. Someone else here. Somebody over here. And yeah. All right, so this actually made it a little bit easier for me to like kind of plan out what this whole thing is going to look like. That's like the first time I did like more of a wide shot with all of the character types. I was just kind of going one by one, and that's a little bit hard. That felt a little bit harder than this does, because this made me feel like, all right, I have a better understanding before I even start adding the details of any of these movements, what they might look like. So give me a little bit of a better of a heads up to go forward. This guy's supposed to be on his side. Let me make that a little bit more clear. Maybe he's like laying out on a beach mat, a towel or something. I don't know why he has a towel in the other stall, but maybe he could afford one. I don't know. Anyway, so maybe somebody has like sunglasses, but they're still sweating pretty bad. I'll go with these sunglasses. I kind of want to show the horrible. And like an image like this will only stay on the actual camera for like a couple seconds. It won't even be there very long. These are just little passing shots that you probably won't even barely notice. Just hopefully you get like sort of a chuckle out of it. A little bit bald. Maybe he's reading the paper. This picture of reading the paper since he's kind of, balding a little bit. Not that only people that are balding read the paper, obviously, but I just think it's kind of funny attribute that I can find. Let's see. Oh, this guy is. And if you can, like, just try and see if you can give your guys some funny expressions. This guy has an overly sized beak, even though he's kind of a small guy. This one has beady eyes. And so forth. And so I would just keep going, give everybody just a little bit of a something. Make sure they all have the same, but for this, I want to make sure they all have the same thing in common. They all have that discomfort in the sun. Maybe this guy is the one with twins. I just feel like somebody should have twins. So we got two little, I don't know what, penguin eggs of life that it's a pretty much the same. Guys sleeping over here. This guy is like joking out. And now that I'm starting to get more comfortable and just kind of like going for it, I'm not keeping as much on track with exactly how this species looks. I want to vary it up a little bit. I want to make my characters different. I want to make them like a little bit more daring. And so for that, I can't make them all exactly the same. And in that way, in that sense, I have to vary and have to stray a little bit from the exact, um, physical appearance of that species, this Cape penguin. But at the same time, I'll still color them the same way. I'll still give them the same sort of lines. I'll still make them look appropriate and like they belong together. And the color and all that detail is going to bring them in together and make them appear like, okay, even though they're all different shapes and sizes, they still have the things in common, and they still have that common color palette, and that's gonna make them bring them together and make them look like they belong together. Okay, so I'm almost done with this page. And then I'm gonna get to my main character guy. personalities. Maybe this one right here has a little umbrella. Kind of looks like he should have an umbrella. Give them something that makes them a little bit interesting. Okay. Yeah, let's see. House. He has a hat back here. And so a couple of them have a couple little accessories to help them in the weather, but most of them do not. Most of them are just suffering miserably in the heat. Facing his back to us. Okay, so that is pretty much it with this page. Just give everybody a little bit of something, a little bit of character, a little bit of personality, and they're gonna go keep going. And now I have right into male penguin war. So background. And he's going to be use my little thirds of it. I'm gonna make him not gonna use my thirds. That's finally here goes our main event. Alright, so look it off by himself. Just with a let me make sure that I still have my sharing window. It's open. Good. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through this a little bit. Oops, I haven't. There you go. Alright, so my main guy is just gonna kind of be over here. Life is lonesome. He's not paying anybody any mind. He's just kind of trying to mind his own business and take care of his life. See, he looks a little bit different than the other guys. He's a little bit more chummy. He's a little bit more innocent in a way. Still uncomfortable, just like the others, but he's just a little bit more photogenic than the others, a little bit more charismatic than the others. And that should be the case with the main character most of the time. And so after I have him, I'm gonna have these little rocks and stuff. And these goes up to the edge of the beach. So just breeze of other stuff back here. I don't have to make it incredibly detailed at the moment, but it's just something to indicate further away. Here goes our guy. And I'm going to find a picture how I want to zoom in on him. So here it goes. Oops. I'm zooming up to him. At two, he's just kind of hanging around. And how do I have it? So he checks his flipper and he looks into at his penguin bag. Okay. So I want to get, choose body do I want? So a little bit concerned. He doesn't want his egg to fry. Like any dad, any good dad wouldn't want their little egg to fry. Good. So he's looking up at that sun. Eyes are a little bit big. That's what I'm doing. Not overly big. A bit more cutesy. There we go. He's kind of blushing. He's concerned. little concerned. There, that helps. Aw, don't you feel for him already? And I'm just trying my best. Right? Aw, I like him already. And pouch. His razor hot. He's sweating. Another layer. I'm gonna copy this one, paste it, and now I'm gonna make him look down. So and use the other layer as a reference. And I'm going to take my hand and let him look downward towards his egg because we're going to do a close shot on his egg. So, um, eyes, chin, C, the same sides. Being concerned, look on his face. Eyes. Probably the same. All right, so I'm gonna get ready to wrap up now, but I want to let you guys know that just keep practicing with these, and you're gonna get better. I promise you, it's gonna get easier. You'll start to feel what's naturally get right to come next. You'll start to get a sense of like your storytelling come out when you start to practice doing stuff like this and writing. And don't be intimidated to write. You don't have to be a professional writer to write a short story. There's tons of videos and resources online to help you to write a story. I talked about storytelling actually in the last Figure on Friday. And if you want to take a look at that, I could go through 3 act structure and stuff like that and talk about like my little journey writing and stuff like that. So hopefully that helps you into some insight into what you can start going through and all of those things. So just to give you a little heads up. So I'm going to just have him look down. He's looking down now. So I continue. Looking up, and then he looks down. Okay, so he's still hot. He's hot. It's very hot outside. So it's hot, and we're gonna do a little close up on his webby feet. So let's see. Position reference, because I'm like, what does it look like? So let me see. Okay. Sure. Is that what it's called? Oh, it's called an African penguin. It's African penguin. What kind of penguin? African penguin with egg. Oh, it's so cute. Look, this one looks just like the one. Actually, this one looks just like the one I was drawing, and I didn't even see this. But doesn't it look just like the one that I was thinking for? Which one was it? Yeah. They get hot, and that's what they look like. That's so funny. It's such a nice little emoji. And let me see if I can find the image I'm looking for with him as I'm sitting with the egg. So let's see if I can find a little reference. They do have little nests. That's so cute. They have little tiny nests, which are really cute. Oh, and you guys can look up these things too. It's like the story is kind of funny what they have with these African penguins. And let's see if I can give me the best images for the egg, but I'm just gonna have to roll with it. This one is not so bad. I can't really see the feet though. Well, maybe I'll just have to use it like this. They do have a little tiny like nest, so I'll use this as a reference image. And as you can see, they have like a little nest that sticks and stuff, and they goes their little egg. So I'll try and see what I can do. Scale this down. And let's see. I'll try and just loosely go ahead and sky his. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this whole egg. Look, it's actually bigger. And this is going to be our last image of today, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this first session of Storyboard Mastery, and I'm going to be doing these. My plan is to do them every week, and so I will be back next week, probably on Wednesday next time. But the days might change, but I will be here, and we will continue working. I might be further along, and I am working on other scripts too, so it might not necessarily be this one we work on next time, but and probably will be because I don't think I'll be done with the whole thing that quick. But we'll keep working, and we just probably won't be in the same position as we are this week, but no problemo because we're gonna just keep on keeping on until we are done. And I'm gonna keep on with this series if it's helpful to people. So if it is helpful to you, you know what to do. You can go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. Um, you can share with your friends. That would be awesome. Anybody who is interested in Storyboard or interested in learning about more about Storyboard, that would be a great thing for this channel and for your friend as well. And especially if you like this video, yeah, don't be shy to to share with others. It's really great when people share resources. And so let's share. And speaking of sharing resources, if you are interested in supporting this channel, as well as the support also supports my meetup group, which is in Los Angeles. It's called Cartoon Arts Center. There's a link in the description below for the Patreon, and it's patreon.com/Alicia Dianne Art if you are interested in that. And if you are, then you can go ahead and click the link, and any donation that you give is great and awesome and appreciated. And also, I think that's about it. That's gonna be about it for now. But thank you guys again so much for liking this video and for subscribing. And I hope that you guys have a great week. I will see you guys next time on this channel. We'll be back next week for Figure Drawing Friday. And thanks so much again. And let me quickly go back to our main. I mean, you, if I can do that. And thanks again. And in the meantime, until I see you again, be grateful, live balanced, and be yourself. See you guys next time.